Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, hello, I'm Fancy Plant. You guys can call me Planties for short. I'm a full-time college student, part-time audit intern, and tonight we're yapping. I am going to start off with the conversation about talking about personal philosophy. So my personal philosophy is start small, think big. And I really like this personal philosophy because it really can be used for a lot of variety of things, and I think it really matches with my goals in life. Right now, I'm in a very transitional position in my life. I'm going to college. I should be graduating. Everything goes well by March. And my big goal or my big focuses that I've been really focusing on recently have been improving myself, whether it is within the career, education, fitness. Even in my hobbies too, I'm looking to improve and learn as I go. And with my personal philosophy of starting small, thinking big, this really helps me look for a bigger dream, but also reminds me that, hey, this big dream is not going to come today. It's not going to come tomorrow. Heck, might not even happen next year. But if I start small and I continue to dream big, little by little, we'll get those dreams realized. And it's really has been like the focus recently. Like one way that I've been taking this personal philosophy of starting small and thinking big is within my fitness journey. I have been really pushing to have a better mentality when it comes to fitness. And one of the things that I really struggle with when it comes to fitness is getting really hard on myself, especially when you don't see the improvements very quickly. It can be really demotivating when it comes to that. And with this personal philosophy of reminding myself, starting small, thinking big, it reminds me that it is okay to take a while. Big things don't just happen in one day. It happens little by little, and we'll get there and achieve our dreams. So the question of the week is, what is your personal philosophy? For this stream, we're going to be going over a few personal philosophies that people have shared on my TikTok videos. If you guys are curious, I have a few videos posted on my TikTok, !TikTok in the Twitch app, if you guys have not checked that out. But I have quite a few people actually have responded and shared their personal philosophies. So for today's stream, we're actually going to be reviewing and reading some people's personal philosophies and sharing and reflecting on that and talk a little bit more about what it means and share some good thoughts, good vibes. I think in general, with my purpose for streaming or what my end goal is, what my dream big is for me creating content today is definitely my goal is to create a community where we help and support each other, where we push each other to succeed, whether it is in a variety of things, career, education, fitness, wellness, emotionally. And I think that is like my big dream in general. And I really appreciate that all the people that is stopping by the stream today, as well as who's taking the time to communicate and share their thoughts about what their personal philosophy is and what that means to them. So, a personal philosophy is a set of beliefs and values that guide an individual's life, influences their decisions, actions, and overall worldview. When I asked that question to my TikTok audience, we received some great responses. Some of them I've already created videos for, but I'm going to highlight my favorite ones, as well as share ones that I have actually not shared on TikTok yet. Let's see. Okay, so there's this one that was really, really great. So there's this creator, or there's not the creator, but we received a TikTok comment. What was their personal philosophy? And Scribble Nick said that their personal philosophy was that they always try to help others. And while it can be hard to ask for help sometimes, and there may not always be something that they can do, simply showing that you care can genuinely make someone's day a little bit better. And honestly, I really love that philosophy. I think it is, I think it really resonates me mostly because I at the end of the day, and I know for a lot of people, that I want to push out good into the world. And sending out good is something that is always something I'm very much in support of. But for Scribblenik's personal philosophy, I really liked it. And I think them highlighting that asking for help can be really intimidating, but I think it's always worth it in the long run, because at the end of the day, we're here at community, here to support one another, and we want to see each other succeed. So it's very important to ask for help when you need it and always offer help when you can. Another great personal philosophy that we received as that someone commented in a TikTok comment was this one. Draco said, "Be kind to everyone you meet. It's their first time being alive as well." And I think that is a great personal philosophy, because sometimes it is very easy to kind of get stuck into your head or stuck into whatever's happening, and get frustrated about like someone making a mistake, or someone cutting you off in the road, accidentally bumping you, or being a little bit short, or not seeming to give you as much appreciation. And I think it is very easy to kind of take that stuff kind of at face value without really giving people grace. And I think that is really important, to be compassionate to other people. Sometimes, maybe someone's not having a good day. Doesn't mean that it's okay for them to act out of hand. Probably not. But I think it is also important to share compassion, to share kindness, because maybe you could be that brighter part of someone's day. And I think that is very important. And I would rather be personally a brighter part of someone's day than a darker part of someone's day, for sure. Thank you, Booty, so much for sharing. Every day is a new opportunity, but it's your responsibility to take it. I think that is a great personal philosophy. I think so it's very easy to get very stuck in your mistakes that you do, or maybe if you have a bad day. But this personal philosophy really helps remind you that it's okay to make mistakes, but even though maybe you took a few steps back on your journey, you can always take those steps forward. And I really recently realized that this morning, actually, when I went to the gym. I was recently being upset about myself about, I'm not being very consistent about my workout journey. And it was a little bit upsetting because I felt like I wasn't being too consistent. But with that personal philosophy, like you shared, Booty, every day is a new opportunity, but it's your responsibility to take it. I think that helps give yourself grace, because even if you're not 100% consistent, tomorrow's that new opportunity to go back again and do it and go and achieve your goals. So thank you so much for sharing, Booty. Enjoy life. So I think this is a great personal philosophy that Toasted Schmo shared on the YouTube. They said that their personal philosophy is that life comes at you fast. Do not plan too far ahead and enjoy what you have. There's a future, sure, and you need to be prepared for it. But what's in front of you, that's the priority. And I really like this personal philosophy. I think it's very easy to focus too much on the future or focus too much on the past. But at the end of the day, we are living in the present. And if you're not enjoying the moment, then what's the point of all this worrying about the future or the past worth, really? And I think that is really, is it profound? I think it is profound. I think it's a great share, and I think everything in life is definitely about a balance. And it is very important to balance your future, your past, but really ensure that you enjoy the present, because at the end of the day, that's the point that you are living in. I hope everyone's having a great day. Today, I would say I had a pretty good day, actually. I did some drawing, I did some work, I went to go work out too. Oh my gosh. Oh, and a really cool creator commented on my TikToks today. I am way too obsessed with TikTok right now, honestly. It's not bad, but ooh. So I had a pretty good day today. I'm enjoying the moment. Right now, I'm actually really glad. I've been looking forward to streaming all day today. And I'm really glad that you guys are able to stop by here and talk with me and hang out and chill. And I'm just going to be yapping about personal philosophy. My next step too So I think we're gonna do like a week by week of like what is the theme of each week. Since I only stream once a week, I kind of want to open up a conversation. I want to create have a new theme. So I would say this week's theme was what is your personal philosophy, and talking about what people's main intentions are with their life. What words do they use to influence their actions and their goals? Ivan Amazing Beauty shares that their partner says that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, but they took a wrong turn 3 minutes ago, so they're going on their own way. And I really like this personal philosophy. I think this is a great personal philosophy that I'm thinking on the spot right now. Usually I kind of like write a little script. I think this is a great, this reminds me of whenever I draw. A lot of the times whenever I draw art or whenever I create, I have a specific thought in my mind of like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But then it can be really unmotivating when whatever I'm doing, I do not have the skills, patience, or time to be creating whatever I have in mind into what's happening on paper. And however, I think there's a beauty in the fact of just enjoying it along the lines, enjoying the moment, and also just kind of seeing what this journey of creating leads you to. And I think that really relates to, but I took a wrong turn 3 minutes ago and I'm going on your own way. I think that is a great way to kind of summarize life. And I don't know, where are you guys heading? Maybe it's not exactly where we're hoping, or maybe it's not exactly like what we were planning out in our head, but that's okay. I think the main thing is enjoy the journey while you're there and hope for the best and manifest good things in the future. And I'm sure you'll enjoy wherever you end up. Thanks for sharing. Also, hello, Heal. Okay, I see yours is another one. Okay, let's make this into another TikTok video. I didn't even read it yet. Should we do it live? Okay. Hello. Hi, Chatterbugs. What's your personal philosophy? Heal Yourself on Twitch shares, mine is get them before they get you. Bite their toes off, and no, I'm not serious. Oh, well, I was taking that serious. Thanks for sharing, Heal. I hope you have a great day. Gotta get back to work? Okay. Have fun at work. Bye-bye. I recorded it too. Well, I guess keep an eye out for maybe a TikTok if I post it. I don't know. So Tabitha Rasa shared on TikTok, mine is never be afraid to ask your friends for help. If any of your friends ask you for help, wouldn't you want them to not feel guilty about doing so? They probably feel the same towards you, and if they don't, they're probably not good friends. I think this is a great perspective. Feeling guilty is completely normal. I think not wanting to feel like a burden is something that a lot of people feel, especially towards people's friends. I think asking for help can also be really, really scary. And if you're worried about being a burden to your friends, it's okay to ask them. You know, maybe they are in a place where they can help you, or maybe they aren't in a place that they cannot help you. It doesn't mean that they're not a good friend or a bad friend, but it's all about having boundaries with people and also being able to support people when they can as well. And I think supporting each other wherever you are in life is very much about what friendship is all about. Starlight Zombie shares that their personal philosophy comes from one of their teachers. They say, if you don't know what to do, do what you know. They say that it was probably intended for using tests, but they think that it can help in life too. And I agree 100%. Something that I've learned recently is that most successful people are not the ones with the perfectly thought out plans or the ones who never make mistakes. They're actually the ones who make decisions and stick with it. And at the end of the day, mistakes can be fixed. But if you never take the chance, you'll never move forward. And I really think that this mindset that Starlight shared, if you don't know what to do, do what you know, is a great way to begin projects or face challenges. Thank you for sharing. Let's see. Draco shares that their personal philosophy is to be kind to everyone you meet. It's their first time being alive as well. And I really think that this is a great personal philosophy. I think we mentioned it earlier this stream, actually. It is very easy to get caught up in the day and feel frustrated by mistakes, but you can be a brighter part of someone's day, and you can give grace to people, give compassion. And I think that is very important to be kind to everyone you meet. Bone Scaro shares, keep going just to see what happened. And I think this is a great mindset, especially when things start to get tough. Facing challenges and pushing through them can be really rewarding, and it helps you by building skills and strengthen your resilience. Consistency, determination, and dedication can get you really anywhere in life. So just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. You don't know anything about philosophy. So philosophy is the study of fundamental questions about existence, knowledge, values, reason, mind, and language. But one often question for philosophy could be, what does it mean to be human? Why are we here? What's the point of living? That's kind of being philosophical. Philosophy? A personal philosophy is a guiding principles that shape an individual's beliefs, attitudes, and actions. For me, it took me a little bit to think of my personal philosophy. At first, I used to say my personal philosophy was, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I think it is a great personal philosophy. I learned about it, or heard about that phrase from the movie Samoan Wedding. And I really like the personal philosophy of, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, because it helps me accept the good and the bad that happens within life. Because life can be surprising sometimes. It can be cruel, it can be nice, it can be happy, it can be sad. And the saying, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, really helps you accept what happens in life. Now, though, I just recently changed my personal philosophy into something that gave a little bit, that pushed for a little bit more drive in my life. I wanted to have more action. And I think it really relates to the fact that I am in a very transitional period in my life. And my personal philosophy of starting small and thinking big really helps push me to really think and dream. And I really like it. I'm definitely dreaming big, and there is no stopping of how big I can dream. All right, what is your personal philosophy? Juno Randall on YouTube shares, treat others how you want to be treated, even if it doesn't deserve forgiveness. We are only human and made with flaws. And I think that really relates to a previous personal philosophy that we talked about earlier, about be kind to everyone you meet. It's their first time living as well. I think it's so easy to get caught up in the day and feel frustrated by mistakes, but at the end of the day, you can be a brighter part of someone's day, not a darker part. Give grace, give compassion. Miamor brings up a great one. He says, we were watching a video earlier today and someone brought up a quote from Mark Twain. Who prays for Satan, who in 18 centuries had the common humanity to pray for the one sinner that needed the most. Wow. When I heard that, I think at first I didn't understand what it meant. Who prays for Satan? I was like, why would you pray for Satan? But then, when listening to the second part, pray for the sinner who needed it the most. I think that is a great part. I think it kind of highlights what we were talking about earlier, is that like we're only human and made with flaws. And also going back to it's everyone's first time living too. And I think people are not black and white. We're very nuanced creatures. And I think it's easy to kind of write off people to be not good and to be not bad, or to be bad. I think whenever you're in a position to give compassion and grace and kindness to people, I think that is something that you should do. I think also it's okay if you don't have that place to give as well, because at the end of the day, we're human. There's only so much you can give. But if you are in a position that can give, I definitely support that. And sometimes too, I think it's very important to just take a step back and breathe. And remember to be compassionate to yourself and compassionate to others. What is your personal philosophy? Rosie Loves Gaming shares that their personal philosophy is to be nice to those who are nice to me. And I think this is a really thoughtful reflection. I think it is very easy to get caught up in your own life that you forget to appreciate others. And it is easier to notice the bad over good, which can lead us to take the positives in our lives for granted. So I guess what I'm saying is take a moment to appreciate the good things in life, and don't forget to let the people in your life know that you appreciate them. Speaking of which, thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for hanging out with me and joining in on this conversation. I really appreciate it. So I guess I have one question for you guys. What is your personal philosophy? I also, if you guys did not know, am hosting this stream where any viewer, any chatter, anyone can call in live on stream. There is a phone number above my head, and we can chat and yap about personal philosophies. You guys can share your thoughts. Although I do know that it can be really, really scary talking on the phone with someone. That's part of the reason why I'm here chatting with you guys. I want to become better talker. I want to talk better. I want to be more articulate. That's why I'm out here streaming. Jose Kenshin shares on TikTok that they think that their personal philosophy comes from the rules of the Turtle Hermit School. Move well, learn well, work well, play well, eat well, and rest well. I think this is a great personal philosophy. I think this personal philosophy really highlights the important parts and the fundamental parts about living, moving, learning, working, playing, eating, and resting. I think those are all very essential, and pushing it to do it well, really helps you balance your life. Nathan Dave shares, I let things go by. I think this is a great personal philosophy as well. Have you guys watched RuPaul's Drag Race? There was a season where a contestant, their saying was, water off a duck's back. Because ducks their feathers are, I think they're called hydrophobic, so it doesn't get wet. And so water off a duck's back or rain off a duck's back means they just let it bounce off of them. And I think that is... not letting things bother you is very important, not very important, but can be a great skill to develop in life, and allows you to move past judgment, whether it is other people judging, or I think for me personally, I struggle a lot with me judging myself. And once I am able to push past that or just not care anymore, it really allows me to dream big and achieve my goals. So thanks for sharing so much, Nathan. I appreciate it. Melon Ninja says, if you had to take a personal philosophy from an anime, that's a pretty good one. Yes, there was another one that someone shared that was from a video game, actually. I didn't realize it was a video game because I didn't play it. Let's see if there's any gamers in chat. Would you guys recognize what video game this is from? This person, Alex Allen, shares. He shared it on TikTok. They shared it on TikTok. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. And I think this saying really reminded me of a saying in the military, everything is made up. And that saying really helped me let go of the anxiety I had around being perfect and making mistakes. Because in the military, I was very like, I can't make mistakes. But at the end of the day, everything's made up. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. So just do you. Don't hurt others and focus on living. Okay. So here's another great personal philosophy. Twitch Ivan's Powers TV shares, I've got nothing to lose, so I might as well follow my childhood dreams. And I love this personal philosophy. I think it really reflects on my own personal philosophy of start small, dream big, or think big. And it really highlights about how go after those dreams just dream big, go pursue those things that maybe you initially didn't think it was really possible. If you genuinely want to do it, why not just go do it? As long as you're not hurting someone, and if that's something that brings you happiness, just do it. What games do you play on stream if you do? So, I used to be a huge League of Legends streamer. That was the only game I played, and honestly, it did not bring me happiness. So, I Marie Kondoed it and yeeted League of Legends out of my life. So I actually don't really stream video games as much on the TikTok this is my first stream on TikTok. Second stream on TikTok. And I don't really stream video games on Twitch. I now do a lot of just chatting streams. I like to yap and talk, and I really my goal is to open up to create a place where we can have open conversations and to push each other to grow. Actually, can I tell you guys kind of cheesy? This entire stream is cheesy. I'm going to tell you guys something kind of cheesy. Very cheesy. 1 second. Video ideas. Okay. So, in general, I would like to create a community, and I think I'm going to call it Grow Where You're Planted. And this is kind of why I'm doing an open call where anyone can call into the stream, because in the general, I want our calls, or I would love if our calls could be in this purpose to kind of fit this mindset of a growth mindset. This is a place where we can encourage and celebrate everyone's success. At the end of the day, I do not want to preach what success is. I want to learn, and I want to learn with you guys, and I want to share about what success means to people and how people are getting there. Whether people are on their day one journey or on day 3000, I'd love to hear your guys' stories about what success is, whether it's in fitness, streaming, content creations, career, school, relationships. I would love to hear about it and share and support people in their success. So if you guys have like a success journey, if you guys are on a success journey, which everyone is, because at the end of the day, we're all going to be successful, whether it is in any part of life. I want to hear more about your journey and how you're getting there and help support a growth mindset. If you guys do not know what a growth mindset, this is a mindset that is really important. I think perspective is a big part of life, and how you take challenges and how you face challenges really can make or break you achieving your goals or becoming successful. So a growth mindset is the belief that one's abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication, hard work, and learning from mistakes rather than being fixed traits. What is a growth mindset? Lumi shares a great example about a growth mindset. They share that when they fail a test, they review what they got wrong and how to get the right answer. They often ask their teachers to explain it differently and break it down so they can get a better understanding. And I think that is a great way to take a failure and learn upon it. I think failing can be really, really hard, especially when it's your first time failing. However, when you do fail, it gives you that opportunity to get back up again, and it builds your resilience. And that is something so great and so important too. So it's okay to fail. I think what matters the most is what you do after failing. Personally, the first time I failed was in the military. I failed a really, really big test. It was a test that I needed for my job. If I didn't pass it, I couldn't technically do my job, and I failed it. I did not do well, and I was heartbroken. This was my first time failing, and I did not know what to do. And I took it really hard, and it took me a long time to get back on my feet because of this failure. I talked to my friends, and they put it better in perspective for me and helped me understand that failure is okay. It's not the end of the world. And what I stated earlier about it's more about what you do after failing that really matters, and it's how you take that and improve on it. Okay, let's go back to what is your personal philosophy? So, Really Short Pants shares that their personal philosophy is that they survived 100% of their worst days so far. So they must be doing something all right. And I think this is a great personal philosophy. I think it is like what I was mentioning with the failing test. Can seem like sometimes it is a really, really bad day and things are not going well, but just taking a step back, taking a breather, and going back at it again is really what is going to make and break and what's going to lead you to success. It's that dedication, determination, and consistency that's going to get you there. These two people shared this on TikTok, and I thought it was really funny. It was one after another. One person says, trust no one. And the other person says, trust everyone, but know what to trust them to do. And I think that is a really interesting take from both of them, both Nathan and Coop. Thank you so much for sharing. Trust no one, trust everyone. Who do you trust? I think trust is a really big thing. And at the end of the day, I think no matter who you trust, the most important person that you need to trust is yourself. But growing up, I did not have a lot of confidence in myself. It is something that I've been actively working on. And a lot of people that I meet actually are very surprised to hear that I think that I'm not very confident. And they think I'm a very confident person. And it's because I'm learning to grow my confidence and trust in myself that I am where I'm at today. So maybe you don't trust yourself now. Maybe you're not confident in yourself now, but that's okay. You can improve yourself one day a little bit. It's not a, oh my gosh, tomorrow I will trust myself, or I will trust myself today. It is, or I will be confident in myself. It's more about a journey, about figuring out what makes you confident and what makes you proud of who you are. And I think that is something that is really important for you to be happy about yourself. Ooh. Melaninja shares on TikTok, fake confidence is the move. And I think that is a great point. Fake it till you make it is something that you often hear. I really do agree with it, especially when it comes to confidence. Maybe you don't feel confidence, but even just walking more confident, square your shoulders, put your chest up, lift your chin and walk. I think that just walking confident makes you feel more confident. It shows that your body and to you, it's like, I belong here. I am allowed to be here and I am proud to be here. And I think that really is one step in the directions of building confidence. Rena says, not that they don't trust yourself, just a little silly. Nah, I feel that. Sometimes you make mistakes, but I think that at the end of the day, it's making the mistakes is what you learn from it. I feel like I'm preaching. But really, I think at the end of the day, the most successful people are not the ones that never make mistakes. They are the ones that go out and make those mistakes and learn from it and just keep going. Lumi shares that one of their personal philosophies is, if you let fear hold you back from trying something new, then you never know if it'll be something you'll love. And I think that is a great point. I think that actually reflects very much back towards what we were saying about the most successful people. The most successful people are not the ones that never make mistakes. They're the ones that try it and try again. Even if they make mistakes, mistakes can be fixed. But if you never try it in the first time, then you're never gonna know if that is something that will succeed or something that is a mistake. Thanks for sharing, Lumi. Marco shares that live the life however you want. And no one can change you because it's your choice, not anyone else's. I like that. Thank you, Marcos, for sharing. That kind of goes back into the conversation what we had earlier about water off a duck's back. It is very important to be who you are proud of being. Do what you want to do, not because someone else wants you to do it. And to be true to yourself, I think, is something that is very important. And that builds that confidence too. What is your personal philosophy? Crimson0482 shares, to say that nothing is true is to realize that the foundations of society are fragile and that we must be the shepherds of our own civilization. To say that everything is permitted is to understand that we are the architects of our actions and that we must live with their own consequences, whether glorious or tragic. Quote by Ezio Auditore. I think that is a really interesting quote. I really like the part of architects of our own actions. It really showcases that at the end of the day, you are who you are because of your actions. And your actions brings you where you are. And at the end of the day, for me, I want my actions to bring positivity into the world. And I hope you guys are proud of your actions as well. What is your personal philosophy? NPC Scott shares, don't go searching for love. When it's time, it will find you. They had a hard time with this personally, but one day she just spawned in like a new player. Thank you so much for sharing, NPC Scott. I think this is really beautiful. It reminds me of a saying of, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And Rena shares, just go with the flow. I agree. I think there's some things that you just have to manifest, or there's some things that you just have to believe in and just be patient for. And good things come to those who wait. Lumi says that they didn't find their husband until they stopped looking and became happy with yourself first. I think that is a really important part. I think being happy with yourself is very important, especially when it comes to a relationship. Because at the end of the day, a spouse or a partner can make someone's day better. However, if someone isn't truly happy with themselves, then they cannot be truly happy. I agree. I think it is very important to work on yourself first. I think it's always a battle as well I think it's always a journey to be happy with yourself or to be comfortable with yourself. That is something that is a challenge that I face constantly. And I think that is the reason why I'm on this journey to be better, grow better. And if you guys are on the journey as well, I'm happy that you guys are joining me. One thing that I'm doing specifically to build in my confidence of myself or to love myself more is I know that I'm more confident when I'm physically fit. That's something that I'm proud of. And because of that, I've been working out more and I've been trying to be more consistent about it. And I'm really proud of my growth so far. And it is a journey, an active journey that I do every day. Sometimes it can be a little bit unmotivating because when it comes to fitness, it isn't a sprint. It is a marathon. It's something that isn't going to happen one day. It's going to happen over a long period of time, and it can be really hard sometimes. But it's okay if there's some mistakes. It's okay if there's some steps back. But the consistency, dedication, and determination is really how I'm gonna gain success in my health and wellness journey and loving myself. Here's another personal philosophy. James shares on YouTube. They say that their favorite is equivalent exchange. Can't gain or create something without losing something of equal value. Keeping in mind what you get isn't necessarily what you want. I think this is an interesting take. I don't think this is something that I kind of have to think about. But I think that is also valid. Whether it is something physical you give and something physical you get isn't always necessarily true. Maybe it could be something less black and white and more for like to gain skills, you have to give time. To be able to create something, you have to gain skills. I think maybe that's what it's about. And I think that is a great personal philosophy for kind of balancing expectations in life. What is your personal philosophy? John Case shares, never be cruel, never be cowardly. Hate is always foolish. Love is always wise. Try to be nice, but never fail to be kind. I love that. I love the distinction between being nice, try to be nice, but never fail to be kind. It makes me wonder, what is the difference between kindness and niceness? Try to be nice, but never fail to be kind. I'm gonna ponder on that for a bit. What do you guys think? Also, Dr. Osaka, welcome to the stream. I love your name. You're new to the stream. Your goal is to move out of your hometown. Ooh, that is a big goal. You ended up back here after college because it was familiar and easy, but I don't want to stay here. Ooh. Moving is a big thing, especially moving out of your hometown. It can be really scary going into a new place and really jarring. There's even moving from, if you're in the US, moving from like one state to another, it can be really jarring about the different customs, different expectations, as well as not having a support system, a community. That's one of the challenges that I'm facing right now. I do not live in the same state that I grew up in. I do not live in the same state that my family lives in. So one of my challenges that I currently face is that I don't have, I have to build my community from scratch, and it is something that can be a challenge, but little by little, bit by bit, I'm growing it, and I'm actually really proud of myself. So best of luck to you, Dr. Osaka. David on the Twitch chat shares that their philosophy is to make your own decisions. Ooh, that kind of goes back into what we were talking about previously about doing what makes you happy. And I think that is a great point. Actually, I'm kind of seeing the connection too. I think we also mentioned too about doing what you want to do and not caring about other people's opinions. I think that is definitely something I faced with challenges, is caring about other people's judgment too much, as well as caring about my judgment as well. I think one thing that holds me back sometimes, or a little dark part of whispering in my head sometimes, is like, it's judgmental and kind of mean. I think it's important to stay true to yourself, but also question everything. Marco shares, sometimes I can be annoying, and that is one reason no one likes to talk to me. I relate to that, Marcos. I think there's a balance. Sometimes people don't want to talk to other people, and that's okay. Sometimes you feel like you want to talk to a lot of people, and it might feel a little upsetting when people don't seem interested in talking to you. And I think one thing that has helped me move on from that is sometimes people are not worth your time, and sometimes people do not click all the time. When one person finds you annoying, maybe the next person won't find you annoying. But also, I think there's a balance to it about if you recognize that you're annoying and being annoying, I think it's important to question why. It's important to reflect. I think it's also very hard to reflect too, especially if you are young. Because there was a lot of times when I was younger, I was really annoying. And for me, it stemmed from I wanted attention and I didn't feel like I was getting attention. And so to get attention, I would just restate the same thing over and over and over again. I found that it didn't really give me attention, or when it did, it made people like more exasperated here with me. And I think it's part of just growing up a little bit that really helped me. Hmm. Hmm. There's a mixture of things. It's not a black and white situation for sure. I think part of it is growing up. Part of it is being more confident. I guess like let me define like what I mean by growing up. I think a large part of it is being more confident with myself and saying what I want to say, as well as giving. I guess a big part about conversations too is that when people are having conversations, is that you want to add to the conversation. You want to have something, you want to add something with meaning to the conversation. Sometimes when it comes to conversations, and if you want to talk to with people, some people may not like having conversations when there's not a lot of meaning or a reason for that conversation. If it's just a conversation just to have a conversation, where it's just small talk and there's no meaning behind it, it can make some people feel annoyed or uninterested in the conversation. I guess what I'm saying here is that it's important to kind of think about your actions and be mindful about what you're doing and think about the reasons for what you're doing and why you're doing it. Dr. Osaka, thank you so much for stopping by the stream again. I don't know if I told you thank you. You said, thanks for the compliment on the username and for the insight. It's great to hear it's possible. I agree. It is definitely possible to move from one place to another. It could definitely be really scary, but I definitely wish the best for you. It is worth it in the long run, and the amount of things that I've learned because I've moved from my hometown is insurmountable. I think that's the word. And I think I've grown as a person because I have moved from where I was before. I would never, well, for sure I wouldn't be here streaming on Twitch talk. I wouldn't be streaming on Twitch and TikTok and talking about these things. I probably wouldn't have definitely wouldn't have experienced what I've experienced and grown as much as a person as I have if it wasn't for me moving as much and getting myself out of my comfort zone and looking to build a community that I am trying to build. Dr. Osaka says that they studied urban planning and did an internship in it and really enjoyed it. Ooh, I love. Okay. So I'm an audit intern. I shared this, and I love my internship. Oh my gosh, I wish they're gonna hire me, but it doesn't look like it. But my internship is for a dual county job agency, and a huge part of it is their mission is basically parks and planning, and I love it because it, like, a huge part of a lot of their projects is growing to support building parks in different areas and creating walkable communities, which I think is something that we definitely need more in America. And it really makes me happy to support an agency that has such a positive mission statement. I feel like a lot of the words I said is like very military-esque, but that's because I was in the military, and the mission statement in the military was not something I was like proud of, and so it makes me so happy to be able to work with an internship that has such a great mission statement. And I definitely support. I think urban planning and city planning, street planning, and stuff is something that I never really realized how important it was, because I've lived in so many different areas. I've seen I've lived firsthand in the differences of communities that are walkable versus communities that are not walkable, and versus communities that rely heavily on big highway systems versus communities that rely on smaller streets. And it really highlights to me the importance urban planning has in our communities and how in people's daily lives. It's something that is very looked past on. Dr. Osaka says that one of their dreams is urban planning is walkable neighborhoods are the best. Yes, something that I really appreciate about, maybe it's just like in the sphere that I am in TikTok and social media, but one thing that I really, really see is that a lot of people are talking about the importance about walkable communities and neighborhoods, and it really makes me happy to see that a lot of people are joining in on this conversation, and a lot of us are becoming educated about it, and it really makes me feel like change is possible. Going back to my personal philosophy, start small, think big. How big of a change can we get? I don't know, but we're gonna have to start small and we gotta dream big and we can do it, you know? I don't know, I feel like I'm getting cheesy. Anyways, I love Wakogawa communities, and I'm glad to hear that you like have education about it, and that's something that you're looking to do, Dr. Osaka. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Today's video was about personal philosophy, and we've learned a lot. If you guys have not shared your personal philosophy, share it down below. What is your personal philosophy?